David, tell us firstly how the last week has been for yourself and the staff.
Really good. Obviously when any managerial change takes place, the first few days there's that little bit of kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen next, but I think the fact that the players were on international leave at that stage and they had a couple of days to get themselves round that first bit of information, but once they come back in, they've been excellent. We've just tried in the first instance to make sure they were lively, they were just listening to what we're asking them to do, but it's consistency anyway. I think that's a key bit. Everything we've been doing with the lad this week has been keeping consistent with what they've been doing up until this point, and not just in this season, but the last season before that as well. It's almost saying they're a well-oiled machine in terms of how they play. So we try and make sure that continues.
A number of positives, I guess, going into this is the fact that the B team will play and train in a similar way to the first team, and the fact that you've obviously done some work with the first team already when other coaches have been missing for whatever reason. How helpful has that been?
Very helpful. We, as a staff in the B team, were really close with the first team staff. It was something that was really important to try and ensure that we help the academy players that are coming through to get closer, so when any transition does take place, they're much better prepared for that to happen. So from our point of view, yeah, obviously I've been privileged enough in the past to be involved with the first team at different stages, and this has certainly helped in terms of understanding and getting closer to the players, and them obviously getting close to me as well. But I think in the first couple of days that also was really important, because as much as they knew me before, it's certainly moved on a little bit since then, because you get to understand how they work in a bit more detail, what helps them get to the levels they need to get to for the game. That's ultimately what we've been doing this week. We're preparing them to go into a big League Cup semi-final. So our job is to try and make sure what we know from what's happened previously, it stays the same as close as we can, but also try and bring an edge to the players as well, because ultimately, as I said, it's a huge game, and we have to make sure they're ready to get into that.
In terms of the staff, tell us about their togetherness over the last week or so.
I think togetherness is the key word, Nick. I think from all areas there's been a coming together of people to make sure what we're here to do is to make sure the players are ready to go into the game and prepared as well as they possibly can be. From all over different parts of the club, you've obviously got myself and Brian from the academy who've come in to help to make sure we're running smoothly. Added to that, you've got the experience of Jermaine, who's obviously in that transition from player to coach at this present time, and really been beneficial to have that bridge between obviously what we want to do and bring his experience to that as well. Colin, from a goalkeeper perspective, knows the journey, knows what it looks like, knows the players really well. That's been really helpful. Graham Stevenson, from an analysis point of view, Craig Flanagan, Eamon, all the guys through the kind of physical department, medical department, the doctor. It's just been, again, I'm not wrong if I miss out Hannah and Katie. There's just so many people that have made sure that this is going as smoothly as what it should be, or what it normally would be. So I think it's as important that these people are, they know how important they are to this present time, and it's extremely valued. And I think from a fan point of view, that all coming together as one, and we want to make sure that continues certainly over the course of the next few days until the new manager comes in and takes on the reins. And
what sort of response have you had from the players this week?
Just like I said earlier, it's been a really it's been a great reaction. They know how big this game is. They know that our job is here to try and make sure they're ready to go. Just making really clear what we want it to look like from our point of view. As I say, the message that we give them is what we do anyway. It's what we are. We know how we want the team to look. The team have been a certain way for a certain period of time. So we're pushing those messages, trying to make sure that edge and the energy is in them from the start, and they know what we want it to look like. But I say from the players' point of view, the action so far has been excellent. They've been asking questions where maybe there's one or two little bits of they want clarity in certain areas, but beyond that, they've just they've followed pretty much what we've asked them to do. But they've also made sure that they know it's come through within the sessions as well.
For the players, can they use this as an opportunity to impress the new manager?
Undoubtedly, they have to. They know the manager's now in place. That's got to give them an extra bit of motivation, because right away they're all vying for that position to make sure when the manager picks his first team, they've got themselves in a position of prominence. So that's important for them as well. So hopefully, if that's a motivation that they use to make sure a performance on Sunday is what it needs to be, then great, that's even better. But I'm sure these guys are really professional anyway. This is what I've seen this week, even before the new manager was announced. Before that, their edge, their professionalism, their concentration and focus was there. So there's no doubt in that in the first instance, but if that brings another level again, fantastic, even better.
And in terms of motivation, over 35,000 Rangers fans going to be in that stadium tomorrow, which will be fantastic for the players too.
Yeah, we've spoken about that. Obviously, you're getting more than 50%, which would normally be the case. So we know what the fans will be like. We know they'll be on the side of the players and try and make sure they're building them on to we'll look like a Rangers team that want to go and win the game, which is important. We want to play in the front foot, so I'm sure the supporters will help that, and will kind of help push us to reach the levels that we know the players can reach, and hopefully get us through to the final.
In terms of Hibs, what do you expect them?
Well, obviously we've played them this season before, and we've looked at that. We've looked at games from last season as well. We know it's going to be a competitive game, and the players will be prepared for that. We know we're going to have to defend at moments as well, but we know we've got players in our team that will bring an attacking threat, and that's important. So as much as we'll look at Hibs and we'll be really respectful of them, we have to make sure that first and foremost we concentrate on what levels our lads can reach, and push to get to that point.